Welcome to Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Is it your dream to own your own business? Or do you want to start up your own business? Or maybe you know someone who wants to get into the game and start their own business here in New Mexico, but they don't have the money to do it. For many who want to spring into their dream, there is DreamSpring. It's a nonprofit organization that helps lend you money, collateral, money. DreamSpring helps people of color, women, low to moderate income households, people with disabilities start their startup. Stay with us as we learn about DreamSprings right after this. DreamSprings is a nonprofit organization in our community that works with the U.S. Business Administration, dedicated to helping underserved communities in our area. They're helping them get loans that they need to start their own startup. It's not too complicated, it's rather easy, but it's something new and different to me. And my guest, who is the Chief Impact Officer for DreamSprings, is going to tell us all about it, and that's Marisa Barrera. Thank you so much for being a part of the program, Marisa.
Oh, Diane, thank you so much for having me as your guest. I'm delighted to be here.
I learned all about it online, but also you shared with me so many things I did not know about the challenges for women, people of color, people with disabilities, people who are low to moderate income, find loans. I thought you just went to the bank to get a loan or to the Small Business Administration to get a loan. But no, you go to DreamSprings.
We sure hope people come to DreamSpring for those business dreams that need funding, because that's exactly what we're here to do, is to really work with entrepreneurs in our community, our neighbors, individuals who have the courage and the vision to step into small business ownership, because it's not easy to be a small business owner.
Well, it's not easy to operate, to come up with the idea, to come up with a business plan, to operate it, to hire the employees. Those certainly aren't easy, but it is certainly not easy to get the funding to do it.
That's right. And especially if you have a brand new business, it can be very hard to find what's sometimes called startup funding. And for some individuals who are fortunate enough, maybe they have savings that they can tap into, or friends and family who are ready to step up and help fund that business launch. But for many of us, we don't have all of the funds we need to launch our business dream into reality.
And I said, Marisa, at the beginning of the show, I thought that you just went to the bank to get a loan. I mean, that's what I see in the TV and movies, right? They go get a loan.
Yes.
But not for a startup.
Not for a startup. Most banks are not able to make startup loans because they need at least a 2-year track record of sales, because they're investing their shareholder funds, and they are regulatory requirements for banks. And so they really need to invest in a proven track record. And so for someone who's in those first weeks of getting ready to launch a business, DreamSpring is here to provide startup funding. We definitely...
Now, is it for everybody? But you also look at the underserved community. And when we say underserved, I guess women aren't business owners as much as men.
Right.
People with disabilities don't have the number of businesses as people without disabilities. Low to moderate income households don't have as many businesses as the higher household income people. So these are the underserved.
We are definitely here to help make a difference for those communities. Our doors are open to everybody. And so, whether someone is watching the show and has that business dream, or they know someone, we really hope that they put DreamSpring in touch with that dream maker who wants to be a business owner, because our doors are open to everybody. We are very specialized in working with individuals who maybe don't have that collateral or cash flow that would help them qualify for more traditional financing. for an existing business. And so because
And that's for an existing business.
Yes. So we're able to be more flexible than a traditional financial institution because we're a community nonprofit organization. And so for someone maybe, for example, who has struggled with credit challenges in the past and is wanting to build strong credit going forward, we can take a little more risk than a traditional lender might be able to. So,
and why is that, Marisa?
That is because we really have a mission to support entrepreneurship, and our sole focus is helping business owners succeed. And because we're a nonprofit organization, we're not looking to generate a profit that we give to shareholders. We're looking to help launch businesses that grow in our community and go on to provide jobs that are needed and goods and services that are desired.
So why wouldn't everybody go to DreamSpring rather than the traditional? And I think you say traditional would be a bank for a loan.
Yeah.
Why would they come for a business loan to everybody?
It's such a great question. And in fact, we're really not competition for banks or credit unions. They, in fact, hope that we do our job well so that the businesses we're serving grow into being customers for them down the road. So people come to DreamSpring sometimes because of that startup nature. Sometimes it is because they don't yet have the credit history or the cash flow or the collateral to qualify for a bank loan. And so they can build those resources as they start with DreamSpring. Our loans, we're sometimes called a micro lender because by today's bank standards, our business loans are smaller. So our average loan is in the $25,000 range. We do go up to $2 million, but believe it or not, that is still considered a small business loan. And so we tend to specialize in really small, manageable amounts of capital for businesses that need that quick infusion to meet a goal or get the business doors open for the first time.
But it sounds, again, since you're a nonprofit,
Yes.
and again, a bank or a credit union, they have shareholders and a board of directors,
Yes.
and their ideas to raise money for that purpose. Since you're a nonprofit, you really can't profit yourselves.
Right.
So I would think your loans would be less expensive.
Our loans in some cases are less expensive compared to sources like credit cards or an online finance company. So for someone who can qualify for that traditional bank loan for their existing business, that pricing is probably going to be best for them. And so that encourages those businesses that are able to spread their wings and fly and qualify at a bank to do so. But for business owners that don't yet qualify at a bank for a business loan, our pricing is really competitive because other sources are things like credit cards or...
Well, credit cards are 24%. It would be
Yes.
easy for anybody to beat a 24% interest rate.
So
How competitive are you?
Yeah, our interest rates vary based on the amount that's being borrowed and someone's credit history and collateral. And so it's a sliding scale. It really just does depend, but we have small, simple annual interest rates so that if someone, for example, has a 10% interest rate on a $5,000 loan with DreamSpring, they can prepay that in advance with no penalty. And so we always encourage our clients to save money if they can pay off early.
But is that the kind of a typical rate, 10%?
You know, it is typical for some of our larger loans. For some of the smaller loans, it's probably going to be more in the 15 to 18%. But again, those are small loans, and when it's a simple annual interest rate, it's a little over 1% a month. So when you think about it in those terms,
those terms better.
And budget to pay off early, you can even bring the effective interest rate down. So
the mission in the community is to start up businesses here.
It is.
It's a nonprofit, started about 31 years ago.
Yes.
And why would it start up? Why did you start up the startup?
Yeah, we
lending
started up
company?
as a startup about 31 years ago, as you said, because there was a need in the community for additional opportunity for young businesses. and businesses that didn't yet have the resources to qualify at a bank. And so our founding president and CEO, Ann Haynes, together with a group of local business owners and business leaders, started DreamSpring. It started as a dream, that there would be this new resource for small businesses in the community. And here we are 31 years later. And some of our early board members are very successful local business owners, people like John Patton from Dion's Pizza.
So tell me about John Patton from Dion's Pizza. 31 years ago, he was making pizzas?
Early on, he was one of our board members who supported this idea because I think he could relate to that experience of being a startup owner and realizing that others in the community were looking for that same door to walk through. Another early board member for DreamSpring was Jackie Baca of Bueno Foods. So we had this group of business leaders and early board members alongside Anne, who saw so much talent in the community in terms of entrepreneurs with the vision and the grit to stick with their business ideas, but who just didn't have the capital to really reach their full potential. And so that's what gave birth to DreamSpring.
The Ann Haynes and these other folks wanted to give the same opportunity that they had to others, but a little easier because they found it challenging perhaps to find the financial support.
Yes.
And they wanted to, in a charitable way, give back to the community.
Yeah, our mission is really one of economic opportunity through entrepreneurship. So as a nonprofit organization, we very much have a mission that guides our work, and that mission is about entrepreneurship, and we see small business owners really as local heroes. It takes courage to start a business and see it through to success. And so we know that those business owners, they're reaching deep within themselves and tapping their courage to build something and to create something. And that is very time intensive. Sometimes it doesn't work out. And we wanted to make sure there was a community of support. So alongside the capital that we offer, we do also offer coaching and connections like mentorships. We have workshops, a digital library of how-to courses and tips. So we really try to provide a community of support for small businesses.
Well, in addition to the funding, wow. And where does your money come from for funding? How do you get money to loan a business?
Thank you for asking. We are a charitable organization, and so some people wonderfully and generously make donations to DreamSpring, maybe because they were a business owner or are a business owner and feel blessed to have made it to where they have succeeded and want to give back to others who are starting their business journey. We also, like so many small businesses, we do borrow money from banks, and banks provide loans and investments to DreamSpring because although they often are not able to, for example, fund a startup business or a business that doesn't yet have cash flow requirements met for a bank, they also want to see new businesses and mom and pop shops thrive and succeed in the community. So we're very fortunate to be able to borrow from local banks, national banks, and that's so that we can then turn that money around and make small loans to small businesses.
Oh boy, what a circle there.
It is a circle.
And I guess it benefits if a bank helps a startup, but they can't because of their board of directors or whatever their ruling documents state. They can't lend money to a startup. They can lend money to DreamSpring. That lends money to a startup, and then the startup grows into a business, and then they go back to the bank to do their banking, I imagine.
That's exactly right. It is the circle. And so we now have many clients over the years who got their start with a DreamSpring loan. They've gone on to be donors to DreamSpring because they want to pay it forward again and help someone else on their journey of business ownership.
Tell me some antidotes. Tell me about, if you can tell me the companies, but give us some examples. And again, you help everybody, but also people who may have more challenges. Again, people of color, people with disabilities, women, low to moderate income households are
Yes.
finding a harder time to find loans.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
give me some case examples.
Oh, I would be delighted to. And it's just such a gift to work with small businesses in the community. So we have so many stories. One that comes to mind, and actually I have a few that are coming to mind, is something called High Country Aviation. And it is a veteran-owned business. It's owned by a gentleman named Dave Jesseroon, who spent about 24 years in the Air Force. And when he finished his service, he wanted to serve the community in a new capacity as a business owner and wanted to create jobs for other pilots like himself. And so in Albuquerque, he's founded a company called High Country Aviation. He takes gamesmen, fishermen, wildlife enthusiasts into New Mexico backcountry areas. He also takes oil and gas exploration firms into backcountry parts of New Mexico. And DreamSpring helped him with specialized landing gear for his planes so that he could land on those rocky, rough runways. And he now employs, through contract work, a number of other veteran pilots, and is an amazing business owner. Someone else who comes to mind.
Well, wait, let's talk about his.
Sure.
And how many? So that's your loans then are helping to hire people
Yes.
and give people jobs.
Absolutely. And we see that as just one of the many vital things that our clients are doing. Again, it takes courage to start a business and
Risk. I mean, there's a lot of risk involved.
Absolutely.
And they're providing not only a service, but a product, but also employment. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think small business owners get enough credit in our community, in our state.
Thank you.
That they are the background, and they not only, try, they often hear they pay themselves last. Their salary
Yes.
is last.
Yes.
But oftentimes they're giving a product and a service and employment to others. And they're not government jobs. This is private industry jobs, small business people.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think small business owners deserve so much credit in our community because, as you said, they are engines of economic growth, the small businesses that they're starting. They are creating needed jobs and so often bringing needed goods and services. Childcare comes to mind. We've worked with many childcare businesses. I mean, these are vital services that our neighbor businesses bring into the community. And they grow the revenue and the tax revenue in the state. There's that ripple effect of all of the good that comes from that.
They're not just working for government. They're not just government employees. They're people who are sticking their necks out for the rest of us.
And creating something. And we just
Yep.
love supporting that. And it's such a privilege to be part of our mission where you're alongside small business owners.
Give me some other examples.
Absolutely. Another example that comes to mind is one of our early clients. His name is Patrick Jenkins. And when he first started working with DreamSpring, in the 1990s, he had a small barber shop near Catherine and San Pedro in Albuquerque. And he had, I think, 2 barber chairs. It was a community gathering place where men would come and visit, catch up with friends, get a haircut. It was very much part of the social capital of the neighborhood. He now has grown that into a commercial property in Midtown Albuquerque that he owns, and he has a barbershop academy. So he now is training young men, young women to be barbers and hairstylists, and they get a wonderful education. I had the pleasure of visiting his multi-story building a couple of weeks ago, and he had about 25 students there. And so now he's helping teach and coach other people to go into business for themselves.
But he was a barber, though. In his case, he is a gentleman.
Yes.
He was in business. So I would think he would have been able to go to a conventional bank since he was in business for 2 years or more than 2 years.
He did not have all of the resources at that time to qualify at the bank. And so we see that with so many small businesses. Sometimes they're called micro businesses. It's 1 to 5 employees. And sometimes the cash flow is not there yet to qualify for the bank or a credit history or collateral. And so there are a lot of different criteria that business owners are developing along the way to be able to qualify for a bank loan.
You mentioned that for startups, you help people of color with disability and women. Why can't they go as well as men to a bank to get their financing? Why do they have different challenges?
It's such a great question. Another business owner that comes to mind that we've worked with locally is a woman named Katia Rojas, who has come to the United States and started a business called Buen Provecho. It's across from the Albuquerque Biopark in the El Vado redevelopment. And she is an amazing business owner. She's bringing her Costa Rican cuisine to Albuquerque. And for some entrepreneurs who maybe have come to the United States to start a business and pursue that dream, they may not be familiar with all of the requirements for traditional business lending. Sometimes they don't yet have a credit history in the United States, which is so key for opening doors, not just for business loans, but for things like leases and mortgages and car loans. So that's just one example. Someone might not yet have a credit history, and that will keep doors closed until they can establish that. And so with DreamSpring, our clients are establishing good credit, and that we hope opens doors beyond the doors to the business.
Oh boy, again, another circle, Marisa. What would you like to share with the audience that I haven't touched upon?
Oh, thank you. I would love to let the audience know that even though you might want to start a business for yourself or your family, you don't need to be in business by yourself. There are resources like DreamSpring where you can find capital for your business, that money to infuse to get to success, but you can also find people who are championing your success and who want to see you succeed. And there are other organizations in Albuquerque and New Mexico that also provide great resources. And so I hope they call us at 1-800-508-7624 or find us online at dreamspring.org and get in touch with us. We want to help connect entrepreneurs to their success.
Very good, and you've been doing this for 31 years. Tell me a little bit about your background, Marisa.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I grew up in southern New Mexico, actually, and came to Albuquerque for college many years ago and just fell in love with the community. And one of the things that I love about Albuquerque, it's very much home now, is the small business community and all of our unique neighborhoods. And so for me, small businesses are part of what makes a neighborhood home. It's those local businesses that you drive by and support. And so I just love our mission. It never is a dull day working with small business owners and hearing about new dreams.
What are the secrets and untruths and misunderstandings about owning your own business in Albuquerque in New Mexico?
Yeah, I think one of
secrets and untruths and misunderstandings.
Yeah, I think one of the misunderstandings is sometimes people are told or think that they have to have a lot of money to start a business. And that's one of those myths that we're here to try to bust through. They definitely are able to access resources like through DreamSpring to fund their business. And so you don't have to have a lot of money ready to go. You can turn to an organization like DreamSpring and work on plans to kind of climb the ladder to your success, where you start within the means that you have, maybe with a business loan, and go and grow from there. So we hope that business owners don't give up on a business dream because they don't think they have enough money to start the business.
Because there is money at DreamSpring for
Yes.
that. You mentioned there were systematic barriers to small business ownership. Is that what you're saying about the banks not being able to lend to startups? What are the systematic barriers?
Yeah, it can be hard to build up a track record without having capital to start with. And so because so many financial institutions aren't able to provide startup funding, we want to help businesses get over those first couple of years so that they can get started and grow and then go on to qualify.
And of course, you want the business to be successful so they're able to pay back the loans.
Absolutely.
If they're not able to pay back, what happens?
Yeah, we definitely work with our clients to try and make sure that if there's ever a cash flow challenge, we're there to provide help. and work with them on plans for repayment, because when someone repays their loan at DreamSpring, that money is back and ready for us to lend to maybe someone's neighbor the very next day. So the money is always being replenished with the loan payments. And so we do try and coach and counsel entrepreneurs who maybe have hit a rough patch with their cash flow so they can work through it.
What do you think the biggest mistake that you've seen that they're doing to not be successful after they receive money from DreamSpring?
That's such a great question. I think a lot of business owners, especially initially, feel pressure to do everything themselves. And it is hard to wear all of those hats as a business owner, because you often will want to turn to resources in things like bookkeeping or hiring practices, or maybe it's taking a course through a local community college on licensing for your business and marketing plans. So we really encourage business owners to learn about all of the resources that are out there and available, so that folks are able to focus on what they love most about their small business.
So not doing it all yourself.
Yes, trying to get help as you're able in those areas where maybe you're not an expert, or it's an area that doesn't bring you joy in your business, because there are a lot of great resources available.
Very good. And you also have those wraparound services, you said.
We
for
do.
Support.
We do. We have a lot of 24/7, it's accessible all the time, digital resources on our website. So lots of trainings, tips, techniques, but we also have one-on-one assistance that we can give to help people navigate the landscape of resources and find what works for them.
Marisa Barrera, the Chief Impact Officer for DreamSpring. How can they contact DreamSpring?
Oh, they can call us at 1-800-508-7624 or find us online at dreamspring.org.
Making dreams come true in our community. Thank you so much, Marisa.
Thank
for being
you,
part of the program
Diane.
and for all you're doing for the community. And thanks, KCHF TV, for bringing you this program and for all they do in the community. I'm Diane Kinderwater. Make it a great week with your family. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinderwater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program, email us at info@kchftv.org or call us at 505-345-1991. Join us again for Issues and Answers with Diane Kinderwater.